Hello and welcome to the 2015 CRC World Championship. Round 12 sees the teams return to the Circuit Park Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix first round since 2011. With famous and exhilarating corners at the Tarzan and Skyflat corners, this circuit return was very much anticipated. The last race at the Circuit Park Zandvoort saw Matthews inherit the win and leader Yanatharo for 1-2 as Kieran Hardy hit troubles a few laps from the finish. Let's go in to the qualifying report. The sun was beating down on the circuit as qualifying at the Circuit Park Zandvoort got underway. Qualifying was a disaster for HWR as both cars would start on the back row, with Chandler at the back as a result of a back of grid penalty. They qualified behind both speed techs who filled up the penultimate row. It was another bad session for Mossert as both cars found themselves out of Q1. Sandwiching in between the Mosserts was both Wolfskin jockeys, with Tom out qualifying Kerry. David Bland endured a shocker as he failed to make the cut, thus qualifying in a lowly 22nd. It was mixed fortunes for the Shantana camp. Chloe Carter achieved another strong qualifying 16th, whilst Zach Sadiq was disappointed not to make Q2. It was an average second for the D-Man engineering team as Lucas Quintanilla qualified in 12th with Dan Phillips in 20th. Motorsport endured their worst combined qualifying of the season so far, with Toby Jones only managing 8th and Sam Miller only managing a shocking 19th as a result of traffic in Q2. CGP Racing and RTS experienced poor sessions with both their respective drivers eliminated in Q2. A strong performance from Will Buchan saw him put his brown ass into 5th on the grid, whilst Lucy Wood was disappointed to miss out in Q3 as a result of traffic. It was an average session for the QCP camp as both cars rounded out the top 10 in 9th and 10th, and with their typically strong race pace, many expected them both to come through in the race. Gindana endured an average session with Kieran in 6th and Jack in 7th. They had all looked strong over the course of the weekend, so expected to be strong in the race. It was the two-door racing cars who locked out the second row. Interestingly, Hannah Duran was able to out-qualify her teammate Chantal Hawke. At the front, it was no surprise to see the Yanatharo lock out the front row. The two of them fought hard over the pole position, but it was Will Essie who won the fight for pole position, beating Alex Morse by just under a tenth of a second, and put himself in prime position to bounce back tomorrow after a difficult past few races. The summer break was at an end, and there was plenty of anticipation as the battle of the Yanatharo was about to resume. Lights out, and the two Yanatharo launched off the line whilst Duran struggled to get off the line and was quickly under attack from her teammate Hawke. Whilst they all got through the Tarzan safely. As the field negotiated the twisty first sector, Will Buchan also found a way past Duran, whilst Jones lost out to first Humphries and then Woodward. Lap 5 and the two Yanatharo were running nose to tail, and Alex Morse had a run on his teammate, with Essie attempted to hold it round the outside, but Alex Morse shut the door and took the lead. Meanwhile, a hit from Tom Monk was enough to put the CDP Racing of Oscar Minto on the sidelines, whilst Hannah Duran repassed Will Buchan later on in the race to retake 4th. Back at the front, and Essie was now right behind Morse. Down the main straight, he made good use of DRS, but Alex Morse understeered into Tarzan and contact was made, which both got away with minimal damage. In response to this, Alex opted to pit for his teammate in the hope of an undercut on Essie. He wouldn't even need to hope for an undercut, as on pit entry, a blue flag glitch led to backmarker James Casey hitting the pit wall on pit entry, leaving Essie with nowhere to go, costing him his front wing and dropping him to the rear of the field whilst the SpeedTech driver had to retire. A game glitch resulted in James Casey being forced to move over despite being on pit entry to avoid a penalty, which resulted in disastrous consequences. There was more drama in the pit lane as Tucson was caught off guard from Jack Baldwin entering his pit, and he stalled the car in the process, forcing the QGP driver into the garage. Chantal Hawke almost suffered a similar fate when Jack Baldwin's teammate Kieran Hardy did the same thing. She kept the car going, however she dropped to 6th. All of this promoted Matt Coombs to 3rd. Kieran Hardy and Will Buchan were in their own battle for 4th. However, Will Buchan would take full advantage of the backmarkers as he was able to pass both Coombs and Hardy for 3rd at the Audi S. Teammate Woodward was on a charge as well, as she moved into 5th by breezing past Hawke on the main straights. Buchan's race would then start to unravel as both Coombs and Woodward found a way through at the second corner, while both Hardy and Hawke found a way through at the LDS. Woodward then continued her charge as she made light work of Coombs the Tarzan. That position would become second as an incident occurred between Duran and backmarker George Chandler, forcing Chandler on the sidelines and dropping Duran to 3rd. HWR's day would come to an end when Harry Williams suffered a brake failure, forcing him to join his teammate on the sidelines. The damage from the incident would come back to bite Duran in the second run of stops, as he would drop behind Hardy and Coombs as a result of the damage that needed to be repaired. While staying out late for Woodward had not worked as she dropped down to 5th. Kerry-Ann Peace would make an embarrassing mistake on pit entry as she turned in too early and clattered the pit wall, costing her of her front wing. Her race wouldn't last much longer when her engine expired several laps later. The track's status as being harsh on engines would then to claim more victims. First Louise Morrow, then Matt Coombs, then Chantal Hawke, and then Elliot Everson were all resorted to the sidelines with spectacular failures. Lucy Woodward caught up to Hannah Duran and made an easy move stick to take 3rd, however she would lose that position and another position to Baldwin at her final stop. The two D-Man engineering drivers were running 10th and 11th until Lucas Quintanilla retired with a spectacular brake failure, shortly followed by Dan Phillips after an electrical failure during his last stop. Kieran Hardy's final stop went horribly wrong as he was held in his pit stop for a lot longer than he would have wanted, which dropped him to 6th. Currently leading the race was Alex Moores, and he was on course to extend his championship lead until David Bland tried to enter the pits with him alongside, which ended in disaster. David Bland tried to enter the pits but couldn't as Alex was there, but still tried to anyway. Both had to retire, and David was in huge trouble with the stewards. This promoted Hannah Duran to the lead, ahead of Jack Baldwin and Lucy Woodward, who looked on course to take her 3rd podium from 4 races till sadly, on the final lap, her engine gave up the ghost, forcing her out of the race in a cruel twist of fate. Back at the front, and Hannah Duran had struggled to keep up with her teammate for most of the year, but when it counted, she was there to take the checkered flag and take her first win since Belgium last year, with Jack Baldwin following closely in 2nd. Despite Woodward's issues, Baronasser were still ensured of the podium, as Will Buchan completed an excellent drive to take his 2nd podium of the season. It was a good race for Toby Jones, considering his lacklustre qualifying and poor race pace, as he was able to finish in 4th. Kieran Hardy's pit stop blunder dropped him to 5th ahead of Dan Milner, who, like his teammate, pulled off a good drive to 6th despite his bad qualifying and poor race pace. Matt Sandragala pulled off another strong drive to finish in 7th ahead of Tom Munger in 8th, James Humphries in 9th, and Zach Tadee, who finally collected Chantalla's first points of the season with a strong drive to 10th. Chloe Carr finished in 11th ahead of a devastated Lucy Woodward, who was still classified in 12th but knew she had been robbed of a 3rd podium of the season through no fault of her own. Whilst Quillessie was able to recover to 13th, there was controversy after the race, as the stewards took a very dim view of the incident between Alex Moores and David Bland. After investigations, the stewards deemed David Bland at fault and handed him a back of grid penalty, plus a 20-second time penalty for the next race, as well as 5 penalty points, just as George Chandler had been handed for taking out Quillessie at the previous race. However, as David Bland had already accumulated 8 penalty points previously, this put him up to a total of 13 penalty points, resulting in him becoming the first driver to receive a race ban as a result of accumulating too many penalty points. In the driver's standings, there's no change at the top, as neither Yannick has scored any points in this race. Toby Jones still remains in 3rd, ahead of Hannah Duran, whose win has now moved her ahead of Chantal Hawke for 4th. Dan Milner still remains in 6th, just ahead of Lucy Woodward, who remains in 7th despite her late retirement. Jack Baldwin's 2nd place has moved him up into 8th in the standings ahead of Kieran Harding, who's going to need some luck in the coming races if he wants to mount a championship challenge, whilst Will Buchan rounds at the top 10. Coombs' miserable season got worse in this race, as for the first time since 2012, neither GP is in the top 10. In the Constructor standings, United Rookies still hold a considerable lead. Behind, Dork have now moved ahead of Masterforce for second in the standings. Baranasso still remain in 4th, 1 point ahead of Gindana in 5th, with GP still lagging behind in 6th on 83 points. Further down the field, as mentioned before, Shantana have finally got on the mark, courtesy of Zach Sadiq's 10th place finish. This leaves HUR and Speedtech as the only teams that remain on the starting block. The next race will be the Austrian Grand Prix, and you can watch that race live happen. Just simply head to this YouTube channel on the 13th September and follow the links to the live broadcast. The times of the race will be confirmed on the CRC site at schalkeracing.wix.com/official and the CRC Twitter at twitter.com/CRCRacing1 on the Wednesday before the race. On the CRC Twitter you can also find links to the qualifying, practice and support race streams. And don't forget you can rate today's race via the link in the description. You can subscribe to this channel for more CRC streams and highlight videos and some F1 2015 content. We hope you enjoyed today's highlights and we'll see you next time for the 12th round of the 2015 CRC World Championship.